Welcome back, everybody, to another Danny Phantom review. Today we're talking about the episode Flirting with Disaster. This is another Valerie episode, so you know it's going to be a good one. So the plot of this one, Technus is causing trouble again, because we haven't seen him in like 3 episodes, so he's got to be back. And he's trying to hack into this supercomputer satellite.
This is the most advanced electron microscope on the eastern seaboard.
What makes you think I would want to know that?
Who wouldn't?
At Axiom Labs, where Valerie's dad works. Also, when we first met her dad, he lost his job there, and then at some point I guess he got it back. We don't ever see that, which is kind of too bad, but whatever, it's fine. So Technus is trying to hack into the supercomputer, and he realizes that Danny has a crush on Valerie, and so he begins manipulating events to bring Valerie and Danny closer together, to distract Danny from discovering Technus's plan. Yeah. And yeah, it's fun. We get a lot of moments with Danny and Valerie, which is cool. Valerie is obviously this really fun character, so I like whenever they use her. And we get to see that her and Danny actually kind of get along and stuff. They do this fun dating montage. I believe it actually has the same music as the dating montage from an earlier episode where Paulina is possessed by a ghost and starts dating Danny for a little while. I think it's the same music. That's kind of a nice fun callback. It also works thematically where Danny actually gets to enjoy going out with a girl for once, but there's also this kind of underlying thing that events are being manipulated by a ghost and that it's not going to work out. So it kind of parallels that sequence. There's a scene where Technus possesses Valerie's ghost hunting suit and attacks him with it. It's a cool fight scene. We get to see Valerie throw down outside of her suit, which is really cool. We don't get to see that a lot. There's a moment where she uses her keys as a weapon, which is a good life tip, kids. If you're ever being attacked, put your keys between your fingers and then punch your attacker in preferably the eye or perhaps the jugular. It's a good way to fend off your attacker. Little life lesson for you from Danny Phantom. It's a cool scene, and then Danny ends up destroying Valerie's suit, which then leads to later on, Technus gives her an upgraded suit that has extra superpowers or whatever, and so she gets a fun kind of redesign. Again, I like that the characters change and evolve over the series. This is a cool idea as well. Technus working with Valerie to fight Danny. Interesting idea. But I don't like her design as much as her first suit, or even the one that we get very, very briefly in the future episode. The idea is cool, but it does this thing with the mask helmet thing, where you can just see her face. It's completely clear, and it's okay, she's gonna have some resemblance of a secret identity. That's completely useless. Not that Danny has a good secret identity disguise anyways, but the thing that I thought worked really well about her earlier design is there's a threatening scariness to not being able to see her face that makes her both a cool anti-hero and a compelling antagonist to Danny. I think the original design just works a little better. This one's still cool, and it works for this episode. So Technus is trying to hack into this satellite that he's going to use to take over all the computers in the world or something. So Danny steals this jetpack from Axiom Labs that's called the X-23
booster rocket,
which I thought was interesting. I wonder if we'll ever get any other X-23 references in this show. So then he puts that on and flies into space. He gets to go to space, which is fun because this episode remembers that Danny wants to be an astronaut, and so he has this kind of fun moment where he's I'm actually in space, I'm an astronaut, which is cool. As a battle with Valerie in space and Technus as a satellite, they fight, he saves the day, all that stuff. Then at the end of the episode, Danny tries to ask out Valerie officially. Also, there's a scene earlier where his dad gives him a class ring. He's you gotta give a girl a class ring if you're gonna ask her out. But Valerie, Spider-Man wants her and lets him down, saying that they can only be friends because, she's got to go fight ghosts or whatever.
My life's way too complicated right now for us to be anything other than friends.
Only a friend?
That's all I have to give.
Which is unfortunate for Danny, I guess.
With great power comes great responsibility. This is my gift. My curse. Who am I? I'm Spider-Man.
And then he's like, hey Sam, can you hold on to this class ring for me just in case I ever need it again? Which kind of hints to us that Danny and Sam will be the one true pair of this show, unfortunately, because Valerie is a way better character. And that actually comes back later on, so we'll pick up with that later. That's about it. This is a really fun episode, and we get to see a little bit of what it would be like for Danny and Valerie to get together, which is cool. Unfortunately, this is Valerie's last episode this season, and I think her second last episode of the series, which is like sad because she's such a great character. They don't use her nearly enough. Obviously the show also got canceled not too long after this, and so there's many things that might have continued on to lead on to other stories and stuff that just we never got around to seeing. Like, I always thought it would be really interesting to see what that dynamic would be like if Valerie and Danny actually got together, because they're both ghost fighters and stuff, and would that be challenging? Would they have too many different responsibilities to be able to spend time with each other? Would it be beneficial because they could fight ghosts together? I don't know. All questions we'll never see answered because the show ended. But nonetheless, this is a really fun episode, and we get to see Valerie and Danny interact in some really fun ways. This episode is just a little bittersweet knowing that it's one of the last times we see Valerie in the show. And that's about it. So we'll see you next episode with a new thing.